So therefore it's not business to business. So sense of sell and marketing and all that kind of thing is something that you can scare people off with. And I've been conscious of that. So that's one of the key things that I want to ask people about is how to convert without converting, or how to sell without selling. How to just let the brand convince people to then sort of, what is the call to action that doesn't look like I'm hard selling, is I guess the best way to put it. The brand is important to retain. I still retain my position as a full-time working casting director, and that's important to retain and maintain the reputation and respect and business with actors. Because part of the reason they're coming along is because they want to put their work in front of me because they know I'm casting a new big series. As an example of where I sit in the industry, I don't know if anybody caught Winter the other night on Channel 7 with Rebecca Gibney, but that was one of the series I cast, and so that looks like they were going to a second series, so that should attract a lot of new people subscribing to my database, my site, my mailing list. So the steps I have to find, so they have to work out how to, and what I want Infusionsoft to do for me.
So what, that last...
Is that clear?
So you said that again, that last part you want Infusionsoft to do for you, the management of the people that come in?
So these are the steps that I'm looking for Infusionsoft, because I'm at the stage now where the product works. I'm getting great conversion rates. I'm getting 40% plus opens on all my emails. My course, which the first month is a cut price rate for about 20%. And I figured I'd get a lot of people just doing the cheap first month and then dropping out. I'm getting a 90% retention rate, and I figured everybody, like most online courses, would drop out after 2 or 3 months. I'm getting again another 90% retention because so the product is working, the delivery is working. Now I have to work out the marketing. So the marketing is how to convert people who subscribe to the free newsletter to take the paid course, people who take the third level course to take the second level course, people who take the second level course to take the top level course, and then beyond that, how to get new subscribers onto the mailing list. Any questions?
I thought you just said that it's converting really well.
It's the people that have signed up to the courses
Are
retaining.
to the next,
I'm retaining them, so I don't know if you can use the right
Can I ask
expression.
what your conversion rate is off of a click?
Off of a click.
Yep.
Can you explain that?
So,
Okay.
page visits per month to purchases per month.
No, I haven't looked at it. I haven't got my analytics coming yet.
Okay.
So I'm talking
Retention.
yes.
Yeah. Next question, what's the cost of the course?
Cost at the highest level is 87 per month,
Per month?
57 a month, 37 a month. I thought I'd be averaging about $50 per month from all members, because most of them take the lower courses, and they're all taking the higher course, so they're averaging about $62 to $65 a month.
What's the value prop between courses beyond just content volume?
There is more personal interaction as you go higher in the courses,
Okay.
which is what they're looking for. They're looking to get close to the person who buys their talent.
You must have a point though where you can't take any more people on that, because you were saying you do webinars. Is there a point, like, do you have a point where
I haven't just we did a soft launch in September. We did a hard launch over a big marketing campaign between Christmas and New Year. We're up to about 110 members. I'm hoping for sort of 350 to 500, but I figure the cut-off point is about 1,000, 1,200. I figure I can do that comfortably and still not go out of those time frames of 3 to 4 hours a week and then sort of a full week on the third week.
And so they'd be on streams, so it's not like you have a webinar with thousands of people, they'd be on streams of logins or something, so you don't have too many people
Yeah.
that you're interacting with. Yeah.
So I would suggest I'd be having 40 to 50 people per webinar. So if I had 1,000 members, I might be as high, and that's only for the top level course, so I might have as many as 15 to do in a month. But 15, that's kind of 600 members at sort of $90 a month. I can get the kind of support staff to be able to deliver that.
Your revenue seems to be capped because you're not actually charging that much, in my opinion, for the monthly fees.
Mhm.
Could you introduce a high level program like a $300 a month, a $500 a month, or $1,000 a month? Maybe it's only a 6-month course, but you're getting
Mhm.
6,000 over 6 months instead of $70 a month or $50 a month.
In principle,
over the years?
yes, and the launch that I've done is to test the market because it hasn't been done before. The only problem with that, or the only issue I see with that, and it's something I have to deal with, is of course with actors and people who want to be an actor, it's generally their second job, and it's not their income-producing job.
But you've got hundreds of people who are paying you now for the memberships, which are the low-level memberships.
Mhm.
Surely, let's say you had 10 that were paying you $1,000 a month. That's all of a sudden $10,000 a month of revenue coming through. So would there be a small subset that maybe have an $80,000 a year job or $100,000 a year job and want to do this on the side, and so they've got the cash to do it?
There is definitely that, but what they want is they want more personal and regular interaction with me, and that's what I'm trying to avoid. I'm trying to automate it.
Okay.
Is my thinking at the moment.
Yeah,
Maybe a little
but you're
evolve
still
that.
doing like 50 people at a time on a webinar and a bunch of webinars a week because you reckon you're going to cap out at 1,200. Why not give a little bit more one-on-one time, but do the one-on-one time for $1,000 a month instead of $50 a month, and then you wouldn't have to have so many people you're doing one-on-one time with.
Mhm.
So let's say you had 30 people in a private forum and you gave them, 10 minutes of your one-on-one time per week, but that was $1,000 a month, or that was $1,500 a month. You'd be able to manage that still within your time boundaries.
I'd be able to manage that, and it's probably something that sort of the business model would evolve to, or osmose into.
You can always just add it on
Add
the
an
top
add-on.
add it on the
Yeah.
top and see how it goes.
I
And
have-
charge an amount that makes it worth your while.
I appreciate that entirely.
And it doesn't matter if they don't, because it's not your target.
The only things, and this is just from me, from where I come from, and it's not a marketing background, it's not a business background, it's that I'm dealing with actors and I'm dealing with my reputation in the industry, and so I'm trying to keep myself as looking like a good guy, that I'm providing a generous service to an industry.
But you can do that whilst positioning yourself with $1,000 offerings,
Yes,
because that gives you a lot of credibility.
if I retained those lower levels, I would still retain the reputation,
Of course.
rather than yes.
What's the possible opportunity for someone that spends one-on-one time with you? Like if they're an actor and they spend, and forget everyone else, if they were just literally your only client, what can you do for them in terms of becoming an actor? What's the
Probably
possibility?
little. If they've got all that money, they're not a very good actor. I'm stuck with sort of all this time with somebody that I've done.
But if someone was to spend that time with you, is it that they get acting gigs?
Oh, I wouldn't have thought.
Is that the outcome of spending time with you, that you get more acting gigs?
It's actually more a self-confidence course. It's life training. When it all boils down to it, but it's specific skills with regard to the audition space.
And are they likely to get more acting work because they
They're
can
like-
audition better?
Yeah.
And what would the value of that acting work potentially be to them?
If that's the demographic of actors, and up here is Hugo Weaving and Russell Crowe, and down here is somebody who does a kind of an extra in a TV commercial, my demographic is in here.
And what's that range of value to the individual?
I would think the kind of the best any of them could make in a year would be $10,000, and that would probably be sort of, having a good year in TV commercials.
So if they invested with you, they could make $10,000 a year. So
Um,
if they invested, yeah.
There is that, but now you're drawing a monetary return for the actors, and that's something, again, with brand, it's what's, there's a lot of this kind of promise online, and I'm trying to keep myself above that forest.
But you want to do that in a way which is automated, so you can spend less time.
Yes. I want my cake and
You needed to.
I run courses, and I always keep the price. I always offer kind of unlimited on call. People can email me, call me, send me whatever, book a time with me, and rarely do people take it up. So if you had an offer that had, your kind of every Wednesday was, they could book a call in or something like that, or every second Wednesday, something like that. The reality is most people may not use it.
Mhm.
So, if you sort of limited that platinum $1,000 a month or whatever it is to, I'm only doing, 20 at a time, you're not going to be getting 20 calls every whenever. And if it was, well, you'll sort of scale it back to 10. I mean, it's kind of a nice
Good problem to have.
Yeah. Anyway, but my experience is you can add. It's highly regarded as part of what you offer, but people just don't take it up, and they don't don't sort of feel like, you know, it's no value either, you know, just a thought.
It's kind of, and this is not to disagree with that, but it's kind of, it's a rare beast, the person I'm selling to, because it's like, it's what their passion is, what they want to do, but they've got to earn money somewhere else. So if I'm fearful of the fact that you offer them that, and that suddenly becomes their outlet for their passion. All of a sudden they can't get work, they can't get onto a professional film set, but they can pick up the phone to me and call me and talk to a casting director.
I doubt that it happened.
Can I just check in one
I
thing
know,
with the group? Is the purpose of this, I just need some surroundings around what is the purpose of a hot seat? Because
Yeah,
like
that-
mastermind thinking,
Yep.
and that's one question. And my second question is probably to you. What is your biggest challenge with this?
Yeah. Okay, I might just highlight, it's the first time we've trialled this, so
Okay.
it's very much we feel our way to what is ideal.
Okay.
The outcome when I spoke to Greg is I'd like to see at least one concrete outcome of something that can be implemented for him over the next month.
Okay.
Or something he can do. That's what I'm trying to achieve with the hot seats. When Greg sent his brief through, in fact, I went back to you, Greg, and I
Yes.
said, too broad. We're not going to get anything concrete out of this. It also sounds like you didn't get my email. Sent it this
Yeah.
morning. But anyway, can you identify which area specifically you would like help with tonight? Because this is a very broad question. We could have many hours of
Yes.
a room full of people here. If you can identify something specific tonight, and we'll focus on that for you. And if we don't end up doing that because of all the great contribution you're getting, then we'll do a follow-up session later and try and turn into something concrete.
Okay.
Okay. Me personally, I've already learnt that I need to have a statistics sheet filled out so that people have the valuable questions that Christy had, about response rates and stuff like that. I need to have that ready next time. So it is we're sort of seeing how we go with the idea of making this more regular.
And I think if we do have hot seats at an Infusionsoft user group meeting, they should be focused on either Infusionsoft or at least online related challenges, as opposed to wider business issues, because there are many other masterminds for that. We don't have to come to an Infusionsoft user group meeting for it. But I think that the first thing you need to do is put your Google Analytics on there. If you don't even know how many people are visiting your site, it's very hard to even know how many people are converting. So it's very hard to give suggestions on what to do when there aren't any baseline metrics.
I actually thought that the hot seat would be that you'd bring up a campaign and we'd look at the campaign and work out whether there was any improvements.
Because it sounds like he knows his product, he knows all that sort of thing. He's trying to make the 3-hour work week. How is he getting that and automating it? That's what I heard.
Yes.
So
So the first thing I'd really like to know, because I didn't get it from all the kind of training I did, is tags. Are you supposed to end up with 1,000 tags after 3 months? I mean, how do you track all these people? People that are coming in from either Facebook ads or sign-ups or web forms, okay? And then they click on a link, so now they're actually not just a cool customer, they're a warm customer. Or they go a bit further and they become a hot customer. I mean, is each one a different tag?
Yes and no. Mainly,
Well, I guess that's what I want to know. I want to know
really
how
you want to
manage-
know how to manage it. You want to know how to manage the different types. What you're talking about there is what I refer to as the customer loyalty journey. Okay, so what I instruct clients is that you have a tag for each of the stages in the customer journey. One being they've never heard of you, not interested in you, have heard of you, not interested in you, are interested in you, ready to buy the second product, third, and by the time they buy the fourth product, they're a loyal customer. You have a similar style of approach that you want to do with that, but to answer your question, they shouldn't have 1,000 tags.
Can I draw something on the board which might address this really
Please.
succinctly and
If you want
probably will service a bunch of people in the room? Everyone gets really caught up in tags. I hate tags. I'm a disorganised child. There are clothes all over my house, and so tags are like the worst thing ever. But we know some things. So you've got a business. What's the first step that a customer hits your business as? A prospect, a lead? They're a lead, right?
Yeah, lead.
They're a lead. And then what are they? They're a prospect? Because there's a little bit of warmth there?
Yep.
Yeah? And then what are they? Entry level customer?
Yeah.
Cheap customer, right? And then we've got more expensive customer, premium customer, these dollar signs, forgive my writing. Then you've got product types, right?
Mhm.
So you've probably got an online product.
Yep, they're all online.
But for the sake of everyone else in the room, you might have a workshop product. You might have a retainer client. You might have a physical stock client. You can go on, right? So
Yeah.
that's your next list. That is, what are they buying from me?
Mhm.
And then you might have some kind of segmentation. So you might have actors that have never auditioned before. So this is like a profiling.
Customer intelligence.
You might have auditioned but never hired. And you might have a seasoned professional. Right? So that's your basic segmentation. With these three lists, you have a matrix of customers that is as big as columns times columns, and would actually build probably as good a profile as you need right now to identify your customers. So instead of saying this is a tag for people that came to my Sydney workshop that are interested in physical goods, or this is a tag for people that opted in on the web form and might be interested in an online product, you can say because they're a lead and they're interested in online and they're a seasoned professional, I now know what communication to give to them.
Hmm.
And I would challenge anyone to be more coordinated than that.
Well, because
That's
if
my
you are
rate
more
on
complicated than that, it's a maintenance nightmare. You never.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
spend
That's
all
what
your time. Yeah.
That's where I am.
Yeah.
I am.
Well, you need to clean up all your tags then.
Well,
So-
no, it's just the training. If somebody had given me that from the start, I understand it's the person that I. But you know, I'm getting tags on. What is it when you upload?
Import tags.
Import. You know, each one's a new tag. And it's
So what you need to do when you've got tag madness is go, if you've got the opted in on the webinar about Scottish Fold cats, then they're a cat, they're an online, and they're a lead. And then delete that old tag.
yeah, this
Yeah,
makes sense.
that's what you need to do. That's tags.
Fantastic.
Happy then?
There you go, there's your takeaway.
Yeah, we've got it. Time. Great.
So we got 6, 4, and 3.
Would you
So
could,
we're kind of looking at, there's a potential 50 odd different
maybe, yeah.
campaigns.
And then the other thing is, what are you doing with that information? Like, yes, if you're selling a $100,000 a year mentorship program, it's probably pretty important to know the name of all of their third child children. But if you're selling an online product, that kind of level of knowing where someone's at is really all you need, especially probably for something that taps out at $100 a month.
And we're starting to do this third column here. We're doing it via newsletter. So a newsletter goes out with 3 types of articles, and based on what they click, there's an article to say people who've never acted at all, people who've auditioned but never got hired, and people. So there's an article clearly designed for each of the 3 people I'm trying to categorise them in, and based on what they click on, then we know that they're in that category. So that's how we're finding out about the clients, is we're tailoring our newsletters to try and learn about what they're interested in.
So one newsletter with 3 links.
Yeah, just to see what they click on. It's a starting point. And then, of course, that person you'd then send more of, that type of thing,
Sure.
to then understand. And then you can get smart by going, well, I know you clicked on that, but why don't we throw in once in a while an article on the other stuff to see if you're interested in the other category. So that's what we're starting to do, to get this, what we call it customer intelligence, but to get to know them. To get to know them better than they know themselves. Trying to understand exactly who they are and what they want.
One of the temptations with that is to tag that link clickers clicked on the blog post about cats, and really you could use the cat interest tag for that. So rather than creating a new tag every time, go if someone does this, which from my matrix do they currently suit, and give them all those tags.
Yeah.
Do you worry about source of lead generated?
No,
from
because
different-
lead source is already in the CRM.
Yes.
So if they're coming in online, lead source is already kind of attributed, but also if they're coming online, it's because they've hit a lead magnet, and I know based on what lead magnet, they would get that lead magnet tag. So I don't really need to know much more than that. There's a whole nother matrix around RFM, and behaviours. But if you don't have this right, there's no point worrying about the next level. Do this first, I think.
Excuse me, what I realize that he has accumulated all, I mean, I'm going back 3 months only, but he's accumulated thousands of these tags because he wanted to trigger something, an action, to send an email. So that's perhaps he's the reason that tags
But
are.
you never, with that level of detail, you never get to do it. There's just too much
Mm.
maintenance. You never get to do it. You have to write so many emails. Like what this does enables you to use the language to target these people. So seasoned professional, I would imagine you would talk to differently.
Different rhythm, different
Yeah, different words, different expectation and knowledge than someone that's never auditioned before.
That would help.
Part of this is to
Define.
what language you're going to use to these people.
Yeah, he
The
hasn't set off
words.
1,000
Yeah.
campaigns.
Yeah. Sorry?
He hasn't set off 1,000 campaigns.
No, but
That's
you've
right.
got to, even for the last bit, you've got to at least take advantage of what you've tagged and use different words to pitch to them.
Can I just use this for a second, because this will just get my head clear. So really what I'm trying to do is, from this, I'm trying to get these two people to come down to here to be a paying customer. So, yeah? Right. And so therefore what I'm doing is I'm combining these two, and campaigns are combining these people, a seasoned pro who came in from a workshop and they're a lead. And once they hit one of these, they click on that, the campaign stops.
Yeah.
Is that right? The campaign link, because I might have 3 or 4 emails in the campaign.
Yes.
Yeah? Is that a fair enough way of saying it? Okay.
So all of your marketing communication, you need to be really clear based on what step someone is in that first column. What's the goal here? So if I have a lead, I probably want them to consume a free course to see how awesome it is. If I've got a cheap customer, I want to be giving them their value and their content, but also reminding them that for just $10 a month more, they can get me on the phone, and so on. And for my past customers, I probably want to be touching base with them and saying, hey, how is life in the acting world going? And, do you have anyone basically you can pass it along? So that first column is really, what is your call to action going to be? It will be determined by the first column tag. The second column will tell you more about that call to action because, it's not really relevant for your business, but if you had someone that always wanted physical stuff, you'd probably tell them more about other physical things they could buy because they've demonstrated those purchasing decisions. And then the last column is just, and I actually think this is only the nice to have. Only when you have basic campaigns to progress someone on each step in a very vanilla, generic way, would I then go back and go, okay, what's my biggest segment? Okay, it's an actor that's never been hired but done a lot of auditions. I'm actually going to now duplicate all my campaigns speaking to that audience. And then when I have another moment, I'll come back and duplicate that campaign to the never auditioned audience, and so on. So like I've got a cycling coach who has 25,000 people on his list, but we've identified that 80% of those people have a problem with climbing hills. So the first thing that we did was generic stuff, but the next thing we did was do it all again with a voice to hill climbing, because we knew that had the most efficiency in conversion. And now we're doing event stuff and we're kind of going bananas because we can. But getting the first stuff right that's your 80-20 rule there.
So, for an amateur like me, who is yet to do a campaign, has doodled with a few of them, what are the steps, the baby steps for me to take? What should I do? Because, I could jump into that and spend a week and have campaigns going left, right and centre, but obviously that's going to be counterproductive.
Hire someone.
Hire someone?
Hire a certified partner, just to walk you through it.
Is that the best way?
Well, unless you want to spend a week and drive yourself mad.
I guess what I'm saying though is there is a simple thing of just taking somebody who's a seasoned pro, who's a lead, and trying to just turn them into a customer. You just do one. Okay. The most effective use of your time is to hire a certified partner to help you with the design, because a lot of the detail work is not that hard. It's putting the content in and things like that. It's the design that's the most important bit. So you can nearly do a straw man design of a campaign without any content behind it, and then you'll see visually, say, oh right, I know if this prospect goes through this bubble or go to that bubble, and all you've got to do then is just to dig in with the detail and
and it's best of use of your time. So when, even as experienced as I am, I use other people that are smarter than me to help me design. So I'll come up with an idea of design, and then I'll run it past smarter people than me, and then I'll get down to the detail.
As I've been through this process in the last 12 months, and what I would say though is, like any brief, if you haven't got your customer journey, which is sort of what Christy's described there, that's a customer journey. What do they experience as they get to know, like, and trust you? If you haven't got that straight in your head, even if it's pretty pictures or, you know, a basic diagram that has nothing to do with Infusionsoft, you can't brief somebody to build a campaign for you because they don't know what they're building. And we had this dynamic where Jake was doing it live with me going, oh, hold on, what is our process and what should we be doing? And that makes it harder for them to deliver. So if you take the time, I'd be looking inward on what is the customer journey, that first column there, what's the pipeline, what does it look like, even if it's just generic ideas, then you can brief a partner. Whereas if you take it to them, I sort of need to turn people into money.
We're really good at that.
They're good, but they're not that good, you know, and it makes it hard. It'll be a frustrating process. Whereas I think really, and there's a lot of resources on the Infusionsoft website about the life cycle marketing, which is sort of this stuff, but it's really just what's the journey? What journey do you want the customer, the perfect customer, what would they experience with you to go from not knowing you at all to buying what would the steps be? I'd take the time to do that.
And that journey is actually easier put together by the person who knows the demographic and the market rather than the...
Correct.
And so what you're saying is and when you say design, you mean the design of the communication
Of the process, the communication process.
Yeah, and then ask somebody to sort of put it in the Infusionsoft form.
As a certified partner that would potentially be on the work, I would actually say if you wanted to do something tomorrow that would get you results, I would say whenever someone becomes one of these steps, so for example, at the event of someone getting a lead tag or getting a cheap customer tag, just build a sequence of 3 emails, 4 days apart, plain text, no branding, welcoming to that them to that stage of your business. So, hi Jake, I see you've signed up for the program, let me know if there's anything I can help you with. Then 4 days later, hey Jake, just checking in, have you had a chance to pick the first module? And then 4 days after that, hey Jake, how are you getting on? Just doing that will change your business if you do it at each step. If you wanted something that you could do for free at home, I would say go do that.
Do you know how to do that, to build that sequence and stagger it every few days and all that?
I think so, I just didn't know what I was trying to achieve with it. That helps me.
Right.
That's the customer journey, and that helps me know what to achieve.
The other thing is if you've already got people that have, through some other means, become clients, map the process that they went through to become clients, which will give you a bit of an idea of what process they went through. So you've got a bit of an idea of what process you want to automate. Because if
And
that
ask them, what
that's
were
right.
the difficult parts?
Yeah.
What were the parts that were made difficult for you?
Yes.
That you disengaged from?
Yeah, because if you've already got people paying money for your products, and you already know that they prefer to pay the $87 a month as opposed to the $57 a month, so they already like the higher touch, so you're already talking to higher touch type of outcomes. And just think about the process that they went through, what you did, how you interacted with them, what were the emails that went back and forth in order to make them a customer, and then you can basically automate that process and articulate it. And if that's beyond your capability, then engage an ICP. But at least you've got a bit of an idea of the process people have already been through. Because if it works manually, it's going to work in an automated sense as well.
What's an ICP?
Infusionsoft certified partner, sorry.
Who in this room is an ICP?
And often a lot of the ICPs companies anyway.
I'm sure they do, that's why I'm here. That's been fantastic.
And
Can I just offer one more thing?
Yeah,
In terms
please.
of, you made a comment before in terms of the process that you don't want to do hard sell. But you're in the game of selling, right? So sales is a process. You define the process, you give people information, all the books that talk about hard sell, soft sell, strategic selling and all this sort of stuff. It's overcomplicating sales. Give them the information that they want, when they want it, and the sale will just drop out of it in terms of that. So you've already given them that, but you're thinking like you're a salesman. Now you're providing them information. This process will help you provide that information in a structured and automated way,
Yeah.
and the sale will drop out of it. You don't have to be a salesperson in your head.
No,
Right.
because it's the next email answers the question, they don't have to ask you and you don't have to be there to pitch
And if
it.
they're happy with all that, they'll buy.
Can I add one more thing into the mix? I went to a bike shop 6 months ago for a new helmet, and the guy asked me what kind of bike I had, and he was quite patronising, and then he said, "This helmet's really cheap." And I didn't want a cheap helmet. I wanted a really cute helmet, and I was okay with paying hundreds of dollars. But he made that assumption for me. It pissed me off, and he lost my business. In Benells, I've made the same mistake. I've made the assumption of what a customer can afford, and I have always been wrong. And in fact, in 2 years, no one's ever told me I'm too expensive. So the biggest risk I see you having with your business is that you've assumed what someone is happy to pay for, and you're working in their dream. So if anything, they're more likely to pay you than their dentist or their hairdresser, because you are giving them something that no one else can. So I wouldn't be so quick as to discount what an actor is prepared to pay for your services if you are as good as you say you are.
Yeah, I agree with that. Can I add to that? Alright. So if you read Perry Marshall's 80-20 book, sales, to do with sales and marketing, and he's statistically proven this, and he's a great guy to follow for anyone that's not following him. He says that if you can think about the product that adds value, there's a percentage of your customers, I can't remember what it was now, that would pay, 4 times more than your average. So if your average is, let's say in your case, $90, and if you can come up with a value-based offering, you'll get a good chunk of them that will pay at least 4 to 5 times more. So in fact, that's the Christie's point about you don't know unless you test.
And then you have the money to help the people that can't afford to pay you at all.
Yeah.
You can also do profiling as well and get them to fill out the profile for you. That can help as well. No, it's not. Not at all. Just a Q&A, just a form.
This has been fantastic, thank you.
Good.
So does an ICP also organise can they also organise the automation between different applications?
Integrating. Integration. Yeah.
Great.
You'll save yourself so much time and headache and pain if you hire someone.
Absolutely.
What's the process for actually finding someone and
Just go up to Richard and say, "Hey, this is my problem." Or go up to Jake, or go up to whoever who is an ICP and just.
And they'll start listening.
Yep. Can I approach a dilemma? And just sort of this is a little bit off Infusionsoft, but just a fraction. I have a business that can sort of be launched globally, so therefore, and I mean America is my big data. That's where all the actors are. How do I sort of structure a site that's sort of at $87 or whatever the price is, that they pay in Australian dollars in Australia and they pay in US dollars in America?
2 accounts?
So
You need 2 accounts.
two accounts. You need 2 accounts to collect the money, but how do you set it up on your web page, your website?
I think it's your provider, you can choose the currency.
But with Infusionsoft, you're going to have one currency that's on the product timeline.
Yeah.
Lots of businesses I've seen literally have the first thing you get to when you go to the website is click on your flag. I'm in Australia, and
Yep.
off you go.
If
So
the
lots do
majority-
that.
If the majority of your customers are in the US, do it in US dollars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dollars is like
I agree.
And Aussies are more used to putting up
Yeah.
and pay things online in US dollars than the other way around.
But I've got a client, they sell in New Zealand and Australia, and they've got a simple PayPal account, and you can take New Zealand dollars, Australian dollars, sits in a PayPal account, and then you just put it across your bank account whenever
And that's
you
all.
want to convert it to AUD, but PayPal does it quite easily.
So you quote both on the website and just quote it in both dollars.
When you're
Yeah.
talking about PayPal, where if it's 100 Australian dollars, it's 110 New
No,
Zealand.
but it will take the currency, so it'll take.
I know it will take both currencies, but how do I advertise so that an American pays the same price but in American dollars, not Australian
But
dollars?
then you're dealing with currency.
Currency rates, yeah. You don't need to worry about it.
You're going to want to fix the price.
real-
So
I would,
You don't need to.
I would fix the price at 87 US and
Yeah.
put it in your PayPal account for another 6 months, and then you'll have 4 times the money.
You're overcomplicating
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
paid
Yeah.
when you haven't done the basics here. You're by worrying about that kind of stuff. Don't even worry about it. If you want it to be nice and smooth, just put in US dollars. Too bad for Aussies, they've got to pay in US.
Mm-hmm.
Just make that your policy. Keep it simple.
Yep. And the Australians aren't don't put in big barriers towards that. They're fine.
We've got clients on member sites who have got 75% Aussies and 25% US and UK split, and it's Aussie dollars, and no one's ever batted an eyelid.
Mm.
And UK opt-ins convert at the same rate that Australian opt-ins convert at, which tells me that the currency is not affecting conversions.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So just pick a currency and go down.
There's a bigger market.
So the Infusionsoft motto is version 1 is better than version none.
Yes, I've got that. I'm ready to go. I'm very happy.
Great.
That
Thanks,
was-
Greg.
Sorry, can I just add a
No.
disclaimer on that? I will. That if you've got a subscription
Oh,
in two countries, like you've got people paying subscription prices in two countries, it's going to be a big turn off if it's fluctuating up and
Yeah.
down. Okay, so if you've got Americans paying in Australian dollars and 1 month it's this and 1 month it's that, that may be a big turn off as opposed to actually having two separate accounts, that's all. So, if you're selling a one-off product,
Yeah.
that's no trouble. You know, I sold CDs that were recorded here, sold in America to Australians, they all had to buy in US dollars, didn't bother them. But if I've got US customers paying me a monthly fee and it's going up and down, it's a bigger turn off. So I'm just
I would argue that the Aussies will cope with that better than
Yeah.
Yep.
So I've got
Yeah.
almost everything I subscribe to is now in US dollars, and I'm just like, well, if it's broadly within this range.
Yeah, and we all pay the-
subscription.
There could be a market upside to that too, so in an actor's head,
And
and
some
some
want to
major
go,
actors,
and I'm not to go.
it being a US program could have some upside from a
Yeah.
marketing perspective, so it may be a good thing, maybe in US dollars.
Your sales prop to the Australians, if you're charging US dollars, is buy now.
Well, the dollar's good.